Thinking about moving to the Inland Empire and Ontario's on that list, and you want to know if it's affordable or not, well, I'm going to go over the real living expenses on what it really costs to live out here, from housing to what it costs to go out at night to what your internet's going to cost you. And at the end, you're going to know whether or not Ontario's affordable for you or not. All right, so let's start off with housing. Now, housing prices have been going up everywhere in Southern California. No matter where you look, it's more expensive than what you saw before the pandemic, like in 2019. So what does it really cost? So you have a few options. You're either going to buy or you're going to rent. Now, I'm a real estate broker here in the area, so ideally, if you're going to buy a home, give me a call. I'll be able to help you with that. And these are what typical home costs in this area. Now, Ontario, in this particular region, is more affordable than, let's say, the surrounding cities like Upland and Rancho Cucamonga and Chino Hills. It's actually the most affordable, I would say, within 20 miles, 25-minute drive in any direction. Now, renting, this is the weird part. It's pretty expensive to rent here in Ontario versus those other more expensive neighborhoods. Like, check out this building. Their building is going to be brand new. They're asking like $3,500 for like a 2-bedroom apartment. You might be able to get something comparable in Rancho for less money or in Upland. But when it comes to buying, actually buying in Ontario is cheaper. So rent's actually a little bit more expensive, believe it or not. Now, you can find some good deals depending on the age of the home here in Ontario. So you could find a 2-bedroom for like $2,500. Now, is it as nice as the rest of them? No, it's not. It's going to be a little older, a little bit smaller. You're going to have your utilities will probably be more expensive because it's going to be in a house that's less efficient, but at least the monthly is a little bit lower. And so if you decide to own, then you're looking at maybe about $650,000, $700,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a nice yard in the front, nice yard in the back, which will come out on a monthly payment. If let's say this is your first home and you put minimal down, it might cost you about $4,500 to own that typical house here in the area. Yeah, that's about $1,000 more than renting a 2-bedroom, a brand new 2-bedroom. So you decide whether it's worth it or not. 3 bedrooms are obviously more expensive, probably, makes more sense in that case. So think about that. Another thing here is taxes, property taxes, income taxes, sales taxes, right? I don't like taxes because, it's like, where's the money go? We all know there's a bunch of waste and maybe corruption in the government, definitely waste. So kind of feel like anything we pay into it is maybe going, 50% is being used, who knows? Either way, if you're here in California, your income tax is going to be around like 11%. Federal, well, it's federal, so anywhere you go, it's the same thing. But here in California, our income tax is higher, 11%. So if you're making whatever, $100,000 a year, expect to write that check for $11,000 to the government, to the state of California. Here in Ontario, sales taxes, they just raised it. We got a lot of shopping and a lot of visitors. We have a convention in an airport, so they're trying to say, well, we're going to be billing everyone who lives outside, who comes to our town to have fun and whatever, and to use our resources, and we're going to tax them. But the reality is we all get taxed. So anytime we want to do something locally, yeah, we're paying more in taxes as well. So that's something to think about as well. I don't know if there's any real town close by that has less taxes, but that's just something you got to think about. And when it comes to property taxes, pretty average, 1.2%. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to buy a brand new home, then they're probably going to charge you more in taxes because they have to pay what's called Mello-Roos. So if you're buying a new construction house, there's a lot of fees involved with that. You have your mortgage, right? You have the house, right? You have HOAs. You have increase in taxes. So just because you see the sticker price, it might not be what you think it's going to be at the end of the day. That's why you need to reach out to me, and I can tell you the true cost of what that home is really going to cost you when you go ahead and buy it. Here's my contact information. Feel free to give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. I'm ready to help you guys out. I like giving this information out, so feel free to reach out. So now, speaking of utilities, in the summertime, your electric bill is going to be really high, $500, something like that, depending on the size of the house. Why? Because it gets really hot and you're going to be blasting that AC. You need to have that AC on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because if not, when you get home, then that house is going to be crazy hot. In the winter time, it's going to be less. You're paying gas to heat the home, but it doesn't get too cold out here. Maybe about like 50 degrees, sometimes 40, but it doesn't get too ridiculous. So it's probably going to be about $300 a month in that gas bill come the winter months. Water and trash. I own a duplex and I pay about like $150 for 2 units, a water and a trash unit. Seems pretty reasonable. I did get a water leak once, and that bill came up to like $300 because I don't know where the water was coming from or going or whatever. So keep an eye on that bill. It can sneak up on you. But those are the utility costs, and that's pretty similar to any town around here. You're gonna find that same cost. Now here's something that you gotta think about. If you have an old AC unit, it's gonna cost you more. If you have an old house with poor insulation, it's gonna cost you more. So just because a home that you're gonna buy or sell is at a good price, just think there's these hidden costs when it comes to heating and cooling. It may cost you an extra 100, 200 bucks more per month. And if that's the case, maybe you buy a nicer house, a newer house, that's going to cost you, let's say mortgage, 100 or 200 more, but your utility bills are more manageable because that mortgage ends eventually. You stop paying that mortgage. The utilities, you're never going to stop. So just a thought. All right, so transportation. A lot of people here who live here work in Los Angeles. They jump in their car, and unfortunately, it takes them over an hour to get to their job, and you're paying for gas for that. So if you can find a job closer to you, to where you live, fantastic. If you run a business that is local, then great, you're in good shape. Other than that, yeah, you just expect if you're gonna get those higher paying jobs in Los Angeles, this is why everyone does it, then you're gonna be paying for that. You're gonna be paying for those gas expenses. Now, when it comes to public transportation, honestly, I don't even know how much it costs. I've asked a few people in my office, like how much does the train cost and how much does the bus cost? They said they've never even taken the bus while they lived out here for 40, 50 years. So public transportation is not a big deal out here because no one uses it. So I don't even know. I mean, you're gonna just have to Google that. I can't even tell you how much it is or even how to pay for it. Do they take coins? Do they take dollars? A Metro card? I have no idea. So something else that concerns a lot of people is healthcare costs. The good news is that here in California, if you don't have a job or if you're self-employed, I'm self-employed, that's the business I run, then you can go into the public marketplace. You can get insurance from what's called Covered California. You put in your income and they'll pump out how much you think you should pay. So a lot of times, a lot of people who run their own business and are just starting out, they get to save a lot of money in healthcare. Now, your job may give you that, may provide health insurance. So depending on whatever your benefits are on that job, then you know, you're gonna have to pay it. I've heard a lot of people that said that when they were self-employed, they got a job, they became an employee, and their health insurance costs jumped up. They were paying like $200 a month, and now it's $800 a month because they have to go on that employee plan. So you might find that those benefits that they call them, it's no longer a benefit. It was cheaper being on the Covered California open marketplace plan rather than being on the employee plan. So weigh those things out. If they say, hey, we have benefits, okay, well, what are they? How much is the health insurance gonna cost me? Well, I mean, it's 500 bucks a month. Well, man, that's and you have to get it. That's like part of the law or something. You can't use the open marketplace as of today, from what I know. Now, double check that. I'm not an insurance agent or anything like that. So, okay, now talking about education. Public school, free, so that's good. Now, if you want to go to a private school or something like that, then yeah, it's just whatever you decide on those private schools. In my opinion, I think the public school does a really good job out here in Ontario. There's a few magnet schools, right? The Central Language Academy, that seems really cool. I'm going to try to get my son into that. It's done by a lottery. He's 3 right now, so he doesn't start until he's 5, but we're preparing for that, see if we can get him in any which way we can. So if you can qualify for a magnet school, then you may be able to save money than having to go to a private school. So hopefully you win that lottery and you get in. For outside activities, I take my son to gymnastics. It's 85 bucks a month. He goes like every Thursday and he has a great time. And there's a coach there, and that's just part of the extra activities. We're gonna put him in swimming. The city provides some swimming classes. Again, so that's like 45 bucks a month, and you can go like 2 or 3 times. But also in the summertime, there's free swim. So if you don't have a pool and you wanna go swimming, it's free. You just go and use the pool. Brand new pool, well, not brand new, it was built like 2 years ago. I use it as much as I can. My wife and my son go there. You can enjoy the pool every day, Monday through Friday. They're not open on the weekends though. All right, so another expense that we all have is food. And here in Ontario, there are actually some decent, I would say, discount supermarkets. You have some fancier ones, but you also have some discount ones. Mexican supermarkets, food for less. There's Costco's, and Sam's Club is about 5 minutes into Rancho, so that's pretty close by. And I would say my favorite is Grocery Outlet. This is kind of a new company, new to me at least, and it's like the Marshalls for supermarkets. They get all these, they're not expired foods, but it's like, I guess, food that some other supermarkets couldn't sell. And sometimes you find some good deals. I really like it because there's always some weird stuff that you could buy. The only problem is once you find it once, you're not gonna really find it again. Now, if you're going out to, let's say, a restaurant, if you haven't noticed, but prices have all gone up. No matter where you go, what you do, prices have gone up in restaurants as well. For me, my wife, and my son, we buy him the kids meal, which is like 13 or 15 bucks at any restaurant we go to. I get an entree, she gets an entree, no drinks, no whatever. Always above 50 bucks, really closer to 70. If she decides to get a margarita, or if I decide to get a margarita, then yeah, it's like $100, you know? Just for the three of us, and sometimes that's just for a lunch. So there's a lot of some decent restaurants out here, but I've noticed a lot of even the fast foods have really gone up in price. The restaurants here, yeah, 2.5 people is gonna cost you like $100 every time you go out. If you go out every weekend, one time, that's 400 bucks a month. So maybe you could swing it, it's not a big deal to you, but at least you know. So now childcare. Here in the state of California, they have provided, if you can qualify financially and if there's enough space, you can get your 3-year-old into preschool. That's what I did. There was enough space. We got him into free state preschool. It's only 3 hours, but we don't have to pay for childcare that way. We pay for it through our taxes. So I'm just, you know, I am paying for it. It's just taxes, right? If you get a babysitter for that same amount of time, it's going to cost you about $100 a week. There's a bunch of babysitters and preschools that you can get. I go to this website, I see there's a bunch of people open. Now you have to do your own due diligence whether you like them or not. So you just keep that in mind whether or not you want to use those people. I'm not recommending any of these people, so just check it out, check them out. I really like the preschool system, I really like the schools. So if you can get into that, great. If not, then you have some other options. All right, so entertainment. Yeah, we spoke about going out for dinner and stuff like that. I just want to let you know that here in the Inland Empire, there's not really a lot to do. If you tell people, yeah, I'm going to go hang out in the Inland Empire, they're going to say, what is that? What are you going to do? What's there to do? Yeah, there's not a lot to do, but there's still stuff to do, right? There's not a nightlife, but there's still a lot of stuff that you could do. Like, for example, there's some bowling alleys. There's that they opened a new Top Golf. When I say new, I mean within the past like 5 years. The thing is, like, the cost for that I play golf like once every 10 years. It was like $100 just to hit the ball, and I think I ordered like a sandwich or something. I was there for like an hour, so I spent an hour, $100, and 1 hour to hit the golf balls. I'm not a big golf person, so is it worth it? It was, because I got to hang out with my friends and stuff like that. But I wouldn't do that on a regular. There are other driving ranges around. If golf's your thing, I hear it's more affordable. But that, for entertainment wise, you could go there and hang out. It's really nice, really bright. There's these bowling alleys. There's arcades that like Dave & Buster's, and this place called Big Al's. The name doesn't really tell you what it is, just like Dave & Buster's. If you don't know, so it's just a bunch of arcades. You could go play basketball and skee ball and things like that. So that's available out here, but just like anything else, $100 a person is what you're looking at, you know, to have a decent, comfortable time. Can you do it on a budget? Possibly, but man, it just seems like a lot of work. Might as well stay home. So if you decide to say, well, I can't do that, what else is there? There's a bunch of hiking trails that are free. Just pay for parking, like $7. Kawasi Park is $10. They have a splash pad. It's nice, it's clean. You could do that. So there are some affordable things to do out here, and less affordable if you're me, right? I just think that stuff is expensive, but people also say, I think everything's expensive. So either way, you have those options. Moving on to retirement savings. Same thing, anywhere you go, whatever you do, anywhere in the country, however you save for retirement, you save for retirement. You know, so that doesn't change. That's however you have it now. Now, if you like this information that I have to share with you, go ahead and subscribe and like. I go over a bunch of towns and a bunch of cities here in the Inland Empire in Southern California. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and that way you get all the information on what it's like to live out here. Now, the cost of goods, and let's say like furniture and housewares and stuff like that, there's a bunch of big box stores, so you can pay full price. But here in Ontario, there's a lot of warehouses. Now, you may say, well, like, who cares, right? Well, when you go on, this is what I do. I go on Facebook Marketplace and I look for something odd that I don't want to go to the store and buy, right? I was throwing a party, so I had to buy these like party trays. This is what they were. And the stores Target didn't carry them because who carries them, right? So I go on Facebook Marketplace and this warehouse was selling them for like $50. Online, if I would have asked to have it shipped, would have been double the price. So it seems like a lot of these warehouses are doing online sales. So you go online, find something, drive to one of the million warehouses that are here, pick up what you need, and you get yourself a good deal. Another thing is where I shop a lot at is the Chino swap meet. It's weird because it's called the Chino swap meet, but it's in Ontario. So whatever, right? But people call it a Chino swap meet for some reason. And you can get a lot of deals there. Except I wouldn't buy things that are like complicated. Like I'd buy t-shirts and socks and stuff like that from there, but I wouldn't buy like a laptop, you know? So anything that has like maybe moving parts or something, because there's no warranty. It's just like final sale and that's it. You buy a vacuum cleaner for $100 and it's broken. What are you gonna do? Maybe you could go back to the stand the next day, but it's like a whole thing. There's no receipts or anything like that. So, but you can still find some good deals. At least that's what that's been my experience. Now, if all this sounds good to you and you want to find out if this is the best neighborhood for you, or you want to find which neighborhoods are best for you, I've done videos on a bunch of different topics. Check out this one right here where I go and explore a different city and you'll be able to tell if this is the right spot or not. And if you need any help with real estate, getting a mortgage, I'm a real estate broker, also licensed mortgage lender. Go ahead and reach out to me. Here's my contact information. Until then, I'll check you guys out.